Honored and privileged that he is with us today. I see he's now on the screen. Mr. President, it is very good to see you again after our previous encounter in Kiev. Thank you very much for being with us today, and the floor is yours.
Дуже дякую.
Thank you very much, dear participants of the conference. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to address you and participate in this conference, the goal of which is to rescue the international law, because it is now on your efforts and our efforts will defend whether international law will exist, whether the humanity will live in chaos and being pressured by people who think that power decides everything and the tyrants can do anything protecting themselves by alleged international law. It soon will be the next monthly anniversary of the anniversary of the destruction of MH17. At that time, in the Ukrainian sky, Russian criminals killed 298 people. Having seen this crime, the world understood what is happening in Ukraine, understood the level of aggression that Russia has come to Ukraine with. The destruction of MH17 drew international attention. Mass media and statesmen understood the pain of the people who lost their relatives in that catastrophe. The children died, 3 toddlers, and it's impossible to forget the pictures of the toys that were found among the rambles. The time is passing by. There's less and less that we hear about that tragedy, but the justice does its work. In the Netherlands, and our experts and international experts managed to put together the full picture of what happened to MH17, and I have no doubt that everyone who have perpetrated that crime will be punished. But we have to remember why that crime became possible. We have to remember that this is not the only crime and not an accidental crime. That catastrophe was one of the many catastrophes and tragedies that were caused by the primary Russian crime, which is the armed aggression against Ukraine. It started in 2014 and still persists. Until today, it takes away the lives of our people. Today in the morning, Russian missiles hit our city of Vinnytsia, an ordinary peaceful city. Cruise missiles hit 2 community facilities. Houses were destroyed, the medical center was destroyed, the cars and trams were on fire. This is the act of Russian terror. These are not people. These are bastards who have done it. So 2 cruise missiles hit the downtown. 20 people died as of now, and 3 children, the huge number of wounded. I would like you to commemorate these people with a minute of silence. All those people who were killed since 2014 until today, all those who were murdered by Russia on our Ukrainian soil and in our Ukrainian sky.
Я дуже вам дякую.
Thank you.
Я вдячний вам всім за те, що
I'm grateful to all of you
разом зі
for
мною зараз
being
вшанували пам'ять жертв російської агресії.
together here and for commemorating the victims of the Russian aggression.
Бо кожного дня
We're doing this every day. Every single day, our people are dying. Every single day, children are dying. Dozens of thousands of Ukrainian citizens were killed, murdered, or handicapped. Millions of them have lost their homes, and still we're trying to identify how many children were kidnapped by Russian forces and taken away to Russia. The preliminary figure is horrendous, 200,000 children. The world is seeing what happened in Mariupol and Bucha, Russian missiles and terror. Live on TV, you can see the Russian artillery destroying the cities in Donbass and destroying civil infrastructure in Kharkiv and in the south of our country. Since the beginning of the full-fledged occupation on the 4th of February, law enforcement registered 34,039 crimes related to Russian aggression. This is less than in 5 months. You can imagine how many crimes have been committed since 2014. And for this primary crime of armed aggression, everyone who is responsible for this in Russia has to be punished. The Ukrainian justice will do its part. According to the Ukrainian jurisdiction, I do believe that International Criminal Court will inevitably bring justice in the crimes that are under your jurisdiction. The military crimes, crimes against humanity and genocide. And I'm grateful to all our partners who are supporting us on this path. By the way, to help the investigation, Ukrainian and international, we've launched the project, the Matters of Ukrainian People book. This is an online platform that collects the evidence of war crimes and information about the perpetrators. Such digital and communication instruments in the modern world speed up the work of the investigation, but for different reasons, our institutions cannot bring to the accountability all the perpetrators for the primary crimes. This is why we need a special tribunal on the issues of aggression of Russia against Ukraine, the tribunal that will bring justice and punishment to those who started this catastrophe and tragedy, which became the biggest war in Europe since World War II. Our efforts will suffice to collect the evidence and to draw the picture of this crime and to make sure that this evidence could be heard in the courts. But the people whose decisions led to this massive amount of crimes cannot hide behind the immunity of the civil servants and officials. The principle of inevitability of punishment should apply to them as well. And this can be done only by the special court of aggression against Ukraine. But also we need the instrument of compensation of all the losses and damages. The time is playing on Russia's side because people don't want to wait for justice for too long. If justice is not coming, people start feeling that as if it's not there at all. And nowadays, the Russian crimes are not even remembered. Those crimes that were committed back in the beginning in 2014 and 2015. The feeling about the Mariupol, the horrible Mariupol, the Azovstal, the Bucha is pursued by, well, in a totally different manner, with less intensivity. Of course, the judgment of people have not changed, but in order to ensure the feeling that the justice is restored, we should not only punish the perpetrators, the victims should be provided with all needed assistance and to restore all the damages that were made by this aggression. The aggression should lose on the battlefield and on the field of senses and meanings. It has to be a damage to the aggressor in the first place. Please pay attention that behind all the hundreds of thousands of crimes, there's only one group of people standing behind it. Those who are giving criminal orders, those who are lying in the same manner, those who are thinking the ninth year now how to make pain to others, how to make sure that there are more losses to other countries and nations. So legal and physical entities are providing for the well-being of those who give orders. They openly own assets and money, or hidden assets and hidden money that they have channeled to other jurisdictions, to the states and quasi-states. This is why Ukraine came up with a proposal to create a special compensation mechanism. We think that compensation of the damages perpetrated by Russian aggression can come from Russian assets and money hosted abroad in other jurisdictions. And we have to understand that the post-war rebuilding of Ukraine is an extremely comprehensive and difficult project, which can become a success with the assistance of the partners. And the sooner the compensation mechanism will trigger, the faster the money of the terrorist state will be transferred into compensation, and the less of a burden this will be for our partners. I would like to thank Canada and other countries who are working to make sure that their legislation would allow for such compensation process to happen. This has to go global to make sure that no one in the world would ever think that the aggression against the sovereign state, against the international law, can be bearable for the aggressor. We need such a legal global pathway that would reflect one of our common values, the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, justice should always make its course, and the task of ours and all the statesmen is to provide all the necessary instruments for the justice to happen. The strength of rule of law is ensured only when there are efficient, sustainable institutions that are capable of implementing this justice under any conditions. We know what kind of institutions we need. We can establish them, and they will do their work. And this will be such a big contribution to the protection of international law, the international order, which can be compared maybe only to the Nuremberg Tribunal. This is our common cause. I would like to thank you for your assistance, for your attention. Slava Ukraini.
Mr. President, thank you very much. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone here in the room when I say that we admire your tenacity. We admire your perseverance, your moral leadership, and also your courage, and also that of all of the Ukrainian people. And thank you very much for that. We will continue to support you. We will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine on each and every angle of this terrible war, but certainly also on the angle of accountability. Justice must and will be done. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for being with us here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being with us here today. This concludes, and also I think the excellent remarks of President Zelensky conclude the Ukrainian Accountability Conference, and once again point out the absolute necessity of seeing this through and a long-term commitment. Because that was one of the things we started the conference with. This will not be easy. It will take a lot of time, and it will take a lot of perseverance. And thank you very much for helping out in achieving that. I do think we have all the tools to achieve accountability, and we also have a clear commitment to join forces, continue the dialogue, and to ensure that as a group of nations, we are as effective as possible now and in the future. Following this conference, as you know, a political declaration will be published with the support of 45 countries. I would like to thank once again the ICC and the European Commission, and also the co-hosts Canada, Denmark, the UK and the US for co-sponsoring this event. And finally, a very big and sincere thank you once again to all of you for participating today and for contributing to this tremendously important topic. Thank you very much, and I would now like to invite you to join our group photo. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll leave the ministers to have their group photo. We'll continue here. We've picked out a few clips from Zelensky's speech, which we're going to share shortly. But first of all, it's a lot of what we've come to expect from President Zelensky, talking with a lot of passion, a lot of eloquence, making appeals. But what was your take, Anita?
What struck me was that he made a reference to the